Peace, Supreme Understanding here. And the question for today is Jay-Z a 5%? I'm going to try to answer that as briefly as I can, to the best of my knowledge. From all things that I know, Jay-Z isn't claiming to be a member of the Nation of Gods and Earth, also known as 5%. You know, Jay-Z, he wore a flag recently, a flag like this. I don't got the gold one, I can't afford that, you know what I mean? But Jay-Z wore a flag a lot like this, which is a symbol of the Nation of Gods and Earth, and he wore that recently, and it ended up on TMZ. TMZ ran with it, turned into it being a symbol of the Illuminati. Jay was kind of, mouth shut about it, so everybody's looking for answers. And I'm going to do my best to just try to provide some clarity. Jay-Z is one of the people that you can consider like a sympathizer, a supporter. He's somebody that sees the merits of this nation, and he wants to give us basically like a shout out. You know, we don't know whose the chain was. Like, I really think it might have been Carmelo's. Carmelo Anthony is a 5% also. He's worn the flag before. I don't know where he's at in his lessons. I just know that he reps his nation. He wore his flag, and that might have been Carmelo's flag because Jay-Z is doing, sports management. So that might have been what was going on. Carmelo could have been like, yo, Jay, rep this nation, wear this flag today. Or Jay could have been like, yo, I want to show the guys some love, let me get that flag for you. We don't know what happened. We know that on like his recent album, and really on like a lot of his past albums, he talks about some of what we teach. But that can lead to a lot of confusion because the mainstream public, they don't know what that means. They don't know what these words, they don't know what supreme mathematics and all that. They don't know what none of that is. So for them, it becomes, it's Illuminati, it's Satanism, it's pagan, it's anti-Christian, who knows? And so I wanted to address that. When you talk about the Nation of Gods and Earth, you're talking about a culture that I don't speak for the entire culture, I don't speak for everybody, I speak for myself as a member of the nation rather than as a representative. I consider myself a citizen. So my name is Supreme Understanding Allah. The reason why we take on names like that is to represent the principles and qualities that we want to exemplify. And what we aspire to is becoming the greatness that is already inherent within us. We know that all the world's civilizations and every form of humanity on this planet began with original people, began with black people. My ancestors came from East Africa, landed in India, built a civilization there. White folks came, you end up with folks that look like me. Pretty much the same thing happened all over the world. Started out with black folks, built everything. Folks ended up looking like me, looking like, you gotta, kind of like a wild, these are my students. My brother Sincere, my brother Savior, my brother Trey, he's about to pick up his name next. And what we do as 5%ers is we teach. Our job is to improve the conditions of urban communities. We're trying to fix the hood, like that's what we do. And that's what we've been doing since the 60s. So when people think that what Jay-Z is supporting is something that's like anti-Christian or Illuminati or whatever, it's like, you really need to get your facts right. Like, you just need to dig a little bit to get your information. Like, stop believing everything that pop up on the internet because people just don't know. Now, what do Jay-Z really live and do? Like, I can't really speak on that. All I know is this man is worth $500 million. This man has built an incredible empire. You can question his business principles, you can question his ethics, you can do that for just about any business person. I don't know about him eating no babies, I don't know about him throwing no little kids off the roof, I don't know about him poisoning no water in Africa, I haven't heard none of them, I don't have no evidence to support none of that. What I know is this man married his wife, they raising a child together, and together they're worth $1 billion. If a billionaire says that this nation is worthy of recognition and wants to say, hey man, check out these brothers right here, that's a shout out I'll take, because now it gives me a reason to teach. Now, I mean, I'm already teaching, but it gives everybody a reason to be like, yo, you want to know what this is about? Let me show you what this is about. So, I'm not mad about that. Now, I had to earn my flag. I don't know if you had to earn anything, but I don't trip about stuff like that because at the end of the day, what we're supposed to be doing is teaching. So if you want to know what a 5%er is or what 5%er is about, go find one. Ask him what lessons he knows, ask him how long he's been one, ask him for some references, and then ask him to tell you what it's about. If he can get through all them things without stuttering and stumbling, then he might be for real. You might have to go ask somebody else to find out if he's for real, because there's a very good chance you might meet somebody who's not for real. You might meet somebody that's wearing a flag that ain't been examined. So I understand why people want to examine him and question him and things like that. But I'm using this as a teaching opportunity. So if you want to know is Jay-Z a 5%er? Nah, he's just a sympathizer. He's somebody that wanted to give us a shout out. And now that we got the shout out, it's like, all right, now you want to know what we teach? There's a book called Knowledge Itself. There's other people that is all over the internet. There's people in your community. There's somebody in your community right now that can tell you what a 5%er is. We teach that the original man and original woman are fathers and mothers of civilization. We teach that the black man is God and the black woman is the earth. These things for a lot of people, I say maybe for 5% of the population, immediately makes sense. When I say to you the black man is God, for a lot of people they like, you know what, I can see that. I get that, that makes sense. I always had this feeling in the back of my head. I know my brothers did, you know what I mean? And I know when they got with this knowledge, it was like an instant connection, like, oh, okay, I get it. You know, regardless of what tradition you came from, what you was raised up under, you know, you had this idea that you are deeper than just this, like just a person that just is gonna live and die and accomplish nothing. You know that there's some greatness within you. You may not be able to put your finger on what it is. You know that the people is lying. You know there's people like just believing in lies all around you, and you know that you've been tricked, or at least the majority of people have been tricked. You know these things, and you are left with questions, but nobody's there to answer the questions. It's just more lies. And so our job is really just to kind of dispel the lies and teach the truth. And that's, you know, that's what we do. That's our curriculum. And you know, we teach people to think for themselves. We teach people to be critical thinkers. You don't have to stay in this nation for 500 years and all that. Like if you get some jewels from this and you get some good information from this, and then you go on, you want to do good work, good for you. So the only only problem I got with Jay is his humanitarian record. Yo, Jay, your record of charitable giving is atrocious. Yo, you need to have a better fucking record of what you have done for the community, and it needs to be well known. I'm sure he does stuff. I mean, I know he brought clean water to Africa, and then you got the Illuminati conspiracy theorists saying that he was poisoning the water. Look, man, if he was poisoning the water and you feel that seriously about it, man, you're on Facebook. Go reach out to somebody that's in one of the communities, because they on Facebook too, asking about the water quality. That's all you gotta do. If you got a conspiracy theory, all you're supposed to do is try to validate it. If you get some evidence behind it, then go ahead and dig deeper and see what you can do behind it. But don't just run around with your idea, oh, I don't know what's in that water. Like, you just sound like a loser. You just sound like a real loser. Oh, yeah, I heard JB, he drank blood. He had to do a blood sack. Well, really, all right, produce the evidence. And you could probably produce evidence that he done did this, and he done, who knows, he done drank wine with his pinky out. And I mean, I don't know what this man did to get where he's at in terms of his financial standing. But I know that if all you can get from him is that he's a bad dude, then you're not doing your research right. Because it's business principles to study. At the very least, man, you know, you can look at the fact that he keeps his relationship private, which most of us can't do. We on Facebook announcing our breakup every other day. You know what I mean? And then we back together, then we break up again. Everybody know all our business. Right. That the least you could do is learn from that. So I look at everything as a teaching opportunity. Is Jay a 5%er? Nah. But he's showing love, so now it gives me an opportunity to be able to tell more people this is what 5%ers are. And if anybody want to know, there's tons of places you can look. I can't vouch for every source, so the one source that I can vouch for is the book that we publish. You know, it ain't like no plug. You can go pull it up in the library and get it for free, really. Knowledge Itself is a collection of over 55%ers from all over the country that write about what this nation teaches and what it's like to be a part of this nation. So check it out.